Alright guys, this is Persiflage here, and welcome to the 4th EHP Podcast. I'm Persiflage, and I have an alt on the top page of the free-to-play Magic High scores.
Jesus. MHHI and I Smith for 12 plus hours a day on a video game.
I'm Desper, and I'm a free-to-play skiller.
My name's Dirk. I like to fold tarps.
And my name's Hecate too, and I play Ironman.
Wait, Hecate? Is that really how you pronounce it?
Hecate?
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay, good to
The
know.
more you know.
Alright,
It
so
doesn't
a few
really bother me
updates.
how you say it.
Oh,
but
sorry. Hecate.
you go.
Alright, so a few updates to our 3rd EHP Podcast. Sarah1610 has officially quit the game, and it also seems that she's stopped posting on Twitter and all of her other social media RuneScape related stuff. We have no further info about Suzuki, but we assume he's quit since he hasn't played for over a month now. And the free-to-play update that we were hoping for about dual wielding and the 2 free-to-play bosses, those are confirmed to be coming in February. So we're looking forward to that. So, in other news, clan news, EHP, we're closing up on 1 bill clan XP, so that's really nice. And we're also planning on hosting some clan tournaments and XP tournaments, so if you're interested in doing maybe a 3v3 XP tournament, like a week in a specific skill, let us know. And we'll probably get in contact with some clans to do further work on that. So, let's get right into the questions. What are your overall thoughts on the release of Invention? For me, I thought it's a pretty decent idea as a skill. I mean, I kind of follow Alkin's thinking about this. Like, you really needed a big item sync for God Wars items and T60, T40, T50, all those items. So, like, now when you go to God Wars, you're doing Slayer and stuff like that, this drops that you might not usually pick up, you do pick up now, and you note them or whatever with magic note paper, and you can sell them because they've all risen like 10%. So I think that's a great thing. I'm not a fan of the way they implemented it at the beginning, and some people were taking advantage of the 10 mil XP per hour. But the way it is right now, as a sort of like a constitution-like skill, where you train it alongside combats and Slayer, I think that's that's good, and I like the way the skill is now, and I hope it stays like that.
I think the first week of Invention was a huge fail, and it's extremely embarrassing for Jagex as a company to release a skill like that and have someone get 200 mil in however many days it was. But I
It was
think
6 days.
6 days. I think how it is now is pretty cool though. I like how you can have perks and whatever. I really don't know the names, but I especially like how much money I made in the first couple of days of Invention. That was also fantastic. And yeah.
Yeah, I really like the concept of the skill, and I love how it's going to affect training methods for combat and skilling. And I think it's funny, someone said that they had more dev time to create the pogo stick than actually test the actual skill. But yeah, overall, I kind of like the skill, even though it's not free to play.
I haven't really looked too much into the skill, but it seems like a pretty cool concept. I guess they had to go somewhere with this new skill. Like, they're running out of ideas, I think, but it's a pretty good idea. I don't really like the fact that you need like 80 divination and crafting to start it. It kind of doesn't really attract new players that much, but I guess it is pretty cool for high level skilling. I kind of disliked the start of Invention when it released, like with the updates. They kind of fucked up the experience drops. Like if you had 99 in a skill, you didn't get any experience drops for some reason.
Oh, really?
Kinda,
Oh, yeah.
What happened with that?
I don't know, but at least in Dungeoneering, when opening skill doors, if you had 99 in that skill, you wouldn't get an experience drop until you opened another door, or you got another experience drop that wasn't in a 99 skill. So like start to stack up. Like if you're a maxed account engineer, you basically can't really tell any critical experiences. But I don't know what that has to do with invention, but they finally fixed it, so that's good. Yeah, besides that, yeah. Cool.
I was unaware of that part, the like glitch there. But I mean, for me, basically I agree with a lot of what's been said. I think that it is absolutely ridiculous that they put a single QA person on an entire freaking skill. That is extremely embarrassing to them as a company, and the fact that they couldn't account for people actually, training in ways that exploit getting, large amount of experience per hour by spending a whole bunch of money is just, extremely. They have basically no foresight into how people actually play their game, which I also think is quite embarrassing. But yeah, the fact that it was 10 mil XP per hour when it came out was just a joke. And at this point now, it's much better. And I think that if they had released it in the state that it's in right now, they wouldn't have gotten nearly as much backlash. But it is definitely absolutely inexcusable as to how they did, release it when they did.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'd say, like, it's kind of interesting, though. When I think about it like this, I think it's not as bad, because the amount of money that Lemmy and Scuzzy and whoever else was top page, the amount of money they were spending is essentially equivalent to getting construction XP through demonic thrones, or doing something crazy like dragon bolts on 07 or whatever, one ticking or whatever that is. Like crazy GP per XP, and therefore the XP per hour is kind of makes more sense in a way. But I still think it was OP. But when I think about it, like in terms of demonic thrones, it's like, wow, yeah, okay, they're spending a crap ton. It kind of makes sense. It's justified that they're getting a bunch of XP for it.
Yeah, and if construction was released today, like as a new skill, then people would do demonic thrones probably to 200 mil.
Right. PVMers and merchers and everyone else who has bills to spend would beat it out.
I think that there's something that needs to be mentioned as to the difference of them. And the thing with demonic thrones is they are an unwavering amount of GP per XP, because it is a shop supplied resource, wherein like with invention, it's fully dependent on supply and demand. So I don't think that argument is all too solid, because like if construction was released today, right, they would have a set amount of money that you have to spend in order to do demonic thrones. But with invention, it was whatever people were willing to sell the items at.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And you saw crazy items like hand cannons go from 30k to 1 mil each.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Eventually people started trickling off because it cost too much. Anyways, it's been out, and I think we all agree right now the stage it's in is pretty good. Okay, so with the smithing rework, I think that will change alch prices for any of the items that are commonly alched. This could be like bodies, adamant bodies, or rune 2H swords, rune legs, stuff like that.
I feel like it's gotta be, because the amount of rune and like adamant that's going to be coming into the game is going to be much higher once they do the rework, because we don't have like the specific details, but basically what they want to do, the general overall statement that they've said, is they want to make it so that the tier of the item in terms of the armor is the tier that you need for smithing and mining it. So basically you could mine this rune ore at level 50 mining, and because of that there's going to be a whole much greater amount of it brought into the game. So I feel like if it stays at the alch price that it currently is, there's going to be so much more money generated through alching than is currently.
Right.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I think they probably will. Stock prices will decrease. Hence, I don't know. Like, I don't know if you guys know, but how much rune ore that comes into the game, how much is actually mined and how much is actually from drops? And do you know if the drop, like they'll change the drops of like all monsters, so like make rune more common of a drop? I don't like.
I feel
I'd
like
imagine.
there's probably much more of it coming into the game through drops rather than people mining it.
Yeah, I think Spring Cleaner would be like the main source of it.
Yeah. So if like now, like once the update comes, I don't know how much people will mine it still. Like the main resource or the main source of it will probably still be from drops, depending on the experience rate and stuff. But like there's a chance that the prices won't even change that much, I think.
And harmonized rune ore rocks as well.
Oh, what's that?
In Elf City, that's like a sort of like a replenishable, I think. I don't know that much about Elf City, a replenishable supply of runite ores. And
Yeah,
it's a
it's
pretty
kind of
good
like living
method
rock caverns.
apparently.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay. What I think.
I'm not sure if they're gonna rework the drop tables, but they're gonna have to change a lot of like drops, obviously, and yeah, pretty much what everyone's been saying. Like the prices are gonna change, the out prices.
Yeah, everything that I was going to say has been said. So
Yeah, same. I think it's definitely going to drop. We have no idea how the other tier ores that they're going to add are going to affect stuff. Like, you know, what was now considered T85. I mean, that could be some different ore. And then those items, if they have swords that you can make with them, then those could be really good alch items. So we may lose some good alch items, but gain some as well. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But we've got, I think, 6 or 7 months, I think, before the actual update comes out. So take advantage while you can. Alright, so Bonus Experience Weekend is confirmed to start on the February 22nd. 26th, sorry. Did you invest in any items for this double XP weekend?
yes, I did. And I got lucky because an item that I invested in is also an item that's used heavily for invention. So the height for double XP is affecting the item and invention. So it's paid off really well.
Sweet. I didn't because I'm kind of bad with my money and I'm always spending it on bars and superheating supplies and stuff. So I don't have any investments at the moment now.
I did last year, but I should have this year. But I guess I'm too late.
No, I didn't invest in anything. I don't really merch much. I don't really have much money. Basically, all my money goes into spending supplies. I don't really have any extra to merch or flip. So yeah, sucks to suck.
It doesn't really affect me all too much. I mean, I could be using like an alt or something to try and make money for bonds or whatever, but no.
All right. So what are your plans for Bonus XP weekend other than making money, maybe?
So I don't really want to say anything because it might ruin it. But I sort of have plans.
Fair enough.
Yeah, very secretive. Yeah. I'll be mining for sure. I hope to get from 95 to 99. I've got the bonus experience stored, so I should be averaging over 100k XP per hour. So that's only about 37 hours, 34 hours, something like that. So hopefully I should be able to bang that out on Friday and Saturday. Well, for me, I guess, because my time zone. Otherwise, I've got Prayer BXP stored, 1.3 mil. but I don't have the supplies yet, so I should probably go buy some. So if I have time and I'm not flooded with homework or something, I'll do some Scatterbury to use that up. And then in general, if I still have time, I'll use up random bonus XP I have in various skills.
I don't have plans on my free-to-player because, well, I was going to use up all my bonus XP, but then I have way too much. But I'm just going to just runecraft, I think. I don't know. I haven't really been bullied to mine yet, and I'm not too sure why that's not been happening, because Percy and other people seem like they're going to mine, and I haven't jumped on that train. But on my alt, I'll be doing Herblore and some other stuff. So yeah.
I'll probably be dunging mostly. I have 3 mil experience, or bonus experience to use up. Dunge. And besides that, I'll probably be doing prayer. I have 99 banks, so I'm kind of waiting to see how much I can get done during the weekend. But I probably won't be able to get it all done. But yeah.
I'll be fishing. I don't know. We'll see. I'll be doing whatever I would be doing otherwise.
Yeah.
Right. So is there anything that it affects you by as an Ironman?
No, being a free-to-play Ironman double XP weekend means absolutely nothing.
All right. Well, that's unfortunate and kind of good, I guess. Maybe we can touch on that later. All right. What do you consider to be maxed free-to-play? Do you think it's all skills at 99 and above, or do you think you have to have 120 DG to be really considered max? And how do you feel about 5 and the pay-to-play stats as well?
I don't know. Kind of confusing. In my opinion, I think you need 120 dunge to be considered a maxed account, because maxed is defined as like the highest possible number or level. And if you stop at 99, then you're not really getting to the maximum. But I also think that you don't really need the pay-to-play stats, because they're not free-to-play skills. But then again, you can get them in free-to-play, so maybe you need the pay-to-play stats. But I guess to be more decisive, I guess you need all 99s in free-to-play skills and dungeoneering, 120 dunge, to consider max, in my opinion. I don't really care that much about the members.
In pay-to-play, if you have 99 and everything, and 99 DG, then you can get a max cape.
Yeah.
So this question's basically like what your morals are or whatnot.
Yeah.
But personally, yeah, 120 would be what I would think.
I think max and max cape is something different. So I don't know. That's just my point of view.
Right.
I think 120 DG is max free to play, and 5 in pay to play stats. I go back and forth because technically it is free to play, but they're just mainly pay to play skills. But the only reason why I have 1s in pay to plays is because of personal preference. So I don't know if that would contradict my argument about DG, because if it goes up to 120 without the virtual leveling thing, then I think it should be 120 to be maxed. So that would mean I would think that 5s and pay-to-plays would be considered maxed, but I don't even look at that, to be honest, when I'm looking at seeing if someone's maxed or not, just based on if you want to get them or not.
Yeah, I'd agree. Like Desper said, standard Jagex max definition is 99 all skills, at least 99 all skills. But in free-to-play, obviously, our content is limited, and so I think the general assumption is that 120 DG is included, and I definitely agree with that. There's kind of like 3 stages of maxing, right? You've got like 99 all skills, 120 DG, and then 1655, which is including the pay-to-play stats. But as for people who don't have the pay-to-play stats, I mean, I think that's fine. In general, like, it's not necessary, and like Derek said, it's a preference. So, yeah, I'd say 1615 or 1655 is maxed. Not
16 with
skillers.
invention.
Well,
invention.
invention doesn't count towards your total level.
It does, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does.
It does?
If you've logged in since then, even if you don't have 80s and all those stats, you got 1 from it, like 1 total
Oh,
level.
I thought I looked at Minier's total level after invention update. And
It's
oh, you're right. It's
1656.
1656. Okay. Oh, cool. We got 1 extra level.
I think that like, so whatever your viewpoint on it is fine, but like I think that you should be consistent in how you feel about it. So like if you're saying that max is the absolute max, then it has to include 5 on pay to play stats and 120 DG. But I don't think that we have to sort of constrain it to one single accomplishment. So in pay to play, you have the max cape, which is all skills at level 99 or higher, which is fine. And then you have the completionist cape, which is all skills at 99 plus some extra content. And I think that, you know, the free to play idea should be the exact same way, where, you know, if you're 99 in all skills, then you're maxed. And then if you have 99 in all skills plus extra content, which would include 5 in free to play as well as 120 DG, that would be considered completionist rather than maxed.
All right.
Would you also
Yeah.
like include like everything else that you can do in free to play, like quests and tasks and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'd be amazing if there was a free-to-play completion escape. Not that there's a lot to do, but I don't know. It feels good to get it done.
I think that I know that you guys were talking about this on a previous podcast, but like I think that it's important to never have something that is exclusive or better in free to play than what it would be in pay to play. So
Right.
you know, like have a free to play max cape, that's perfectly fine, but you obtain it only if you have, you know, 99 in all of the free to play skills. But there isn't ever, and I don't think there ever should be, a cape where it's like you get it if you have 99 in all free to play stats if you've only ever been free to play.
Right. Yeah, Jagex wouldn't look at that as a good way to implement, you know, new content. But I agree. Like, if pay-to-players could get a free-to-play max cape if they have all free-to-play skills at 99 or above, then that would make it attractive to pay-to-play support as well as free-to-play support. And then you just have to look into whether they're purely free-to-play to get, you know, that extra recognition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you feel like it's sometimes a chore to get on and play? Do you feel obligated to play alts, or obligated to keep your rank, or obligated to get certain daily XP? And do you think it's a bad thing, or do you think it's a good thing? For me, I've sometimes experienced that, but for the most part, I'm consistent enough and I enjoy the game enough that it's never been really like an obligation to get on. So yeah, I wouldn't agree with that. Like, or I wouldn't say that it's a chore or anything. Yeah, it's just it's always been fun, and if I lose motivation, then I'll just take a break. Really.
Yeah, never. I always have fun making games, you already know. And obviously, I feel obligated to play on alts to keep my rank or to make GP for skills. I think it's important to have alts if you want to compete.
I don't really feel like it's a chore. Usually chores are something that you don't enjoy doing, and I always enjoy what I do, and if I don't enjoy it, then I do something else. But there are some times that like I want to get other stuff done, but I don't, and instead I play RuneScape. That's just addiction and procrastination. But
yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
But besides that, I don't really feel any obligation to do anything. I basically just do whatever I feel like doing.
Yeah, that's very much so in line with how I view it. It's never like a chore to log on, but there are points in time at which I would like to be doing something else but I kind of feel like I could go do whatever I, want to do instead, but I could also get on and, gain XP. So it's never a bad thing, but there's some points in time at which I could be doing something that I would enjoy more.
Right.
For like the last 15 mil smithing experience, some days it feels like a chore to get on and smith, knowing that I am not really that close to my goal. But I think that's just because I want to get there so badly, and it's kind of close, but not at the same time. And I still have to smith for like another week or so. I just want to be done with it, and I want to feel like I can do anything I want again, because I feel like I've been handcuffed to this skill just because I want to get it done. And sometimes I do feel obligated to play my alts. Well, I used to get extremely stressed out about it, actually. Like if I wasn't runecrafting on my alt while I was playing on my main, then I just felt like, I don't know, I just didn't like it. But then I took a second, I took like a week and thought about it. And for all the non-Bibles and free-to-play, it's like a year to get them. So I have like 3 years to make like 4 to 5 bill. So not playing on my alt for a day or even like a week or a month is not really going to affect my end goal.
Right. Yeah, I'd agree. Like, and that's kind of one of the benefits of alts, where if you don't feel, or you feel like it's a chore to get on and do a specific thing, like, oh, I really hate smithing, and for the past I've used this technique. It's like, okay, I'll get on, I'll smith on the side, but I'll really just rather do something I really want to do, like go PKing or do some quests on a different account. So I'm still making progress, but I'm not feeling like I'm tied down at the same time. It's just in the background, which has been nice.
That's a good way to do it.
One of the benefits of Altscape. Alright, so what's the most common misconception you think that people may have about you?
So, I don't even know myself that well, so I don't even think I can answer this. But maybe because I'm a girl character in game, maybe people think I'm like a woman or that I'm gay or something. I don't know. There.
People seem to think you're good at DG, and we all know that's not true.
Yeah, I suck.
For me, I would say that, and this is mostly for the FC that I hang out in. There's a free-to-play Ironman FC that I hang out in quite a bit, and people will, ask for information. How do I make money? How do I do this? How do I get a rune hatchet? Even people ask these questions, and I'll answer their questions with what is the objectively best way in order to go about accomplishing whatever it is that they want to do. So one that gets asked a lot is, how do I get my magic up? And I'll tell them, the most efficient way is to get 45 mage at trolls and then buy a law staff and then buy a nature staff, because the amount of time that it saves is worth it in the end. But a lot of people don't like spending 10k tokens on the law staff for, just a little bit of time, even though it is objectively better to do for Ironman accounts anyway. And so basically I'll say what is the absolute best way to go about doing something, and then people will, basically say, like, I'm completely obsessed with efficiency, or I can't have fun on the game, or I can't enjoy doing methods. There's a misconception that being efficient has to be unenjoyable, and there's also a misconception about me personally wherein I feel like I am forced to do the most efficient thing at every single given point in time, which just simply isn't the case. I do 4-tick cooking, but I'm not gonna, be telling everyone that doing 4-tick cooking is objectively better than doing 3-tick cooking just because I want people to, feel the same way that I do, or I want to feel better about myself for, doing a more inefficient method or
Right.
something like that. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
that's basically it. Yeah.
sorry, but I think a lot of people, especially after this Sarah incident, I think a lot of people think I'm an asshole. Because, how should I put it? I don't think I will ever get offended from what someone says over the internet to me, unless it's like people in this team speak right now. Then maybe, like if it was one of my close friends, then maybe. But like if there's a random person on the game and he says some ignorant shit, I'll most likely just laugh and not really get offended because that's just how I am. And I have to remember that like this is a computer game and I don't know what this person looks like. They don't know what I look like. And but yeah, most of the stuff I say is just to get people to laugh or make myself laugh. And it's not trying to be mean, but I have to tell myself that not everyone thinks the same way I do, and some people may actually get offended and uh, because it's over the internet. But yeah, I think that's all I had to say.
Okay.
I really don't know what to say for this question, so next.
Yeah, I'd sort of go along with what Hecate was saying. I don't know, my superheating video and cooking videos, and et cetera, et cetera. People know that I like to play around with efficient methods and stuff. So I guess there's this misconception that I'm always doing the most efficient method and I always know everything about efficient methods, which is wrong because I'm pretty bad at counting ticks compared to like Hecate or Derek. If it's not like 2 or 3 or 4 ticks, then I'm not very good at counting it. And also, I mean, I make a lot of sacrifices in terms of efficiency. Like I'm not throwing in an extra alch every inventory of smithing, even though that would be efficient for 9k magic XP per hour or whatever. Because that means I can play 3 accounts at once and have more fun and just be more relaxed. So I'm not 100% efficient, and I never will be, I guess. So don't think that about me. Alright, are you excited for the release of the NXT client? And what do you hope it will change?
I'm extremely excited about NXT. Mostly just because of the performance on it. So, like RuneScape isn't obviously like the most intensive game in the world, but what the way that they currently have it running is it's all based off of your
Microphone
CPU,
muted.
which is completely fine. It's not like it's extremely taxing on your CPU or anything like that. But by moving it over to your GPU, you're simply able to do more stuff on the computer without your CPU getting slightly bogged down if you have, multiple clients open at the same time. I mean, just general performance issues, and I don't really care about how it's gonna actually change the look of the game. If they kept the exact look of it currently and just made it slightly more optimized, I'd be as happy as what, is actually gonna come out.
I haven't really looked much into this client, so I don't really have a good answer, but I hope it's just not like making the water look better or making nodes and RuneSpan look better, because then I'll be annoyed that um, they're wasting time on this. But if it's so I can log in on more alts at the same
Microphone
time, then
activated.
I'm all for it. If it'll help my performance of the client on my computer, then I'll take it. But I don't really care about graphics. I played old school for months. It's like a 4x4 screen, and I have a 22-inch monitor, so I'm not really concerned about that.
Yeah, I can't wait. So I heard that you could plan more accounts now because of the performance. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
obviously can't wait.
Oh
And
yeah.
also draw distance is gonna be pretty cool. Can't wait.
Yeah, I agree with Marco. Like, I don't care about graphics. I play on low detail. I just want them to look smooth, and I want them to be fast. So if we can play on more accounts with better usage of the computer or something, then that would be great. But otherwise, I'm not terribly excited. Like the water, I don't really care. The draw distance doesn't bother me for anything really. But performance is a big plus that I'd like to see.
Yeah, I agree. All that really matters to me is how fast it runs. Basically, what the issues I have right now is with dungeoneering. In the floors, like when you open a door, it basically takes forever to load.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah. So I just wish with an NXT that it gets rid of that, or just makes it a lot more smoother. Make life a lot easier. I don't really care that much about graphics. I'm barely ever looking at the graphics. I'm mostly just looking at the XP drops. Or I'm looking at watching a movie at the same time and stuff like that. So
By the way,
no, go ahead. I was done.
by the way, aren't the like the FPS locks gonna be like higher? Because right now the FPS lock is 50. I heard it was gonna be like unlocked, so we could have higher FPS.
Sweet.
Right. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Super cool.
But yeah, not a terribly effective thing. Anyways, whatever. Moving on. If there was something you could change about the free-to-play community, what would it be and why?
Oh, baby. If I could change something about the free-to-play community, I would change that... Shit, I just lost my train of thought. Going back to the Sarah incident, or actually no, because the dislikes will be too strong and they hurt my feelings. So, like someone about, skip me. I'll go last, mother.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so clans or players spreading rumors about other people. I think that's one thing that this community does that I don't like.
Okay,
also,
I'm going. Oh, sorry.
Also, I'd want to like see people doing more efficient methods, because there's people that do the most random methods, and it's not very good XP an hour.
Yeah, if it's one thing I can, if it's one thing I could change, I would change. If I didn't respond to someone for 10 minutes, I don't want them to go in some. Let's leave names out of this, but some popular free-to-play clan chats called TFS. I do not want them to go in there and say, "Oh my God, MHHI is botting," and then the 10 idiots in there will think like, "Oh my God, he's botting," won't even come check. There's like this random kid will ruin my name for not responding to him because I play public off 98% of the time. And I would love to change that about the free-to-play community.
I guess the thing that I would change is I wish that the free community dunged more. So I wish everyone in the free community was in my friends chat, L0L F2P, and started dunging more, so that everyone could get turned to mill. So,
yeah, that's kind of weird. Like, there's a fair few high-level free-to-play players that just don't train dungeoneering.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't know why. Like, it's a good skill, it's fun. Maybe they're afraid or they don't know how to dungeon, they don't want to learn. But it's kind of weird. If you're watching this and you don't, yeah. If you're watching this and you don't train dunge for some reason, let us know, because I don't know. To me, that seems really kind of weird. But yeah. It's my turn? Yeah.
Yeah.
If I could, I'd love to like make links to the Wikia and send them via RuneScape message, because
that'd be awesome.
Constantly people are asking stupid questions in the free-to-play, and specifically in popular chats like TFS, Free Players, or the F2P United Friends chat. And it's just like, is the Mithril hatchet better than the adamant hatchet? And it's like, yeah, well, you just common sense, or you can look it up. I don't know if you guys know that service called like Let Me Google That For You.
That is the best. Whoever invented that, props to them.
If you could do that in RuneScape and just link them to the wiki page, that'd be really nice. Because God, it's terrible. Some people just do not want to find things out for themselves.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But what the so I'm actually relatively new to the free to play community. I've always like thought that it'd be an enjoyable sort of experience, but I've never really played like as an actual free to play player, as my main account or whatever, ever since the creation of this account, which was, day of release for Ironman. But ever since then, there's definitely one thing that I would love to change about the free to play community, and that is what is like considered to be actually free to play. So there is literally millions of different cases where accounts can be accused of not being free to play or whatever. And I think that what should really happen is just have a consistent viewpoint on what is and what isn't considered free to play, because like if I were to ever be in the situation where for example I got hacked and I got locked out of my account or whatever, and Jagex was like, oh, all right, well like we'll restore it to you and give you like a week of membership for like compensation or anything.
Right.
I would hate to be like, to think about it is like insane, to be completely removed from a community that you enjoy so much being a part of, because of something that was out of your control, or by just the smallest sort of mistake, is not cool. And I think that a lot of people have a not so good viewpoint on that. I get so what I would say is because you can go through a million cases, right? You could get hacked, they could give you a bond, you could be falsely banned and Jagex issues you membership. You could be auto logged in onto the site and like be trying to buy membership for your other account, and you forgot that you were auto logged into your free to play account, and so you just go through and you buy membership thinking that you were auto logged into the other account. Or there's a million ways in which you can possibly be like a member's account but not like actually want to be a member's account. And so I just think about like if I was ever in the situation where I got shunned from the whole community that I enjoyed being a part of, I wouldn't like that. That would suck.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, that's definitely a tough case. But there's not a single solution unless somehow there was, standards implemented, and community is probably not big enough and not desirable enough to get something like that done.
One thing to add to it is people have asked me like, well, what do you think? Like what do you consider to be free to play and not, or whatever? And I think that to me it seems pretty simple, because it covers an all cases scenario wherein the only point in time at which you get removed from the actual free to play community is the point in time at which you purposely do a member like XP rate, like you purposely do a member method.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, the thing about that is like someone can fake it, right? Or like someone, I don't know, there's always people that are gonna like do it and then read it later and just say it was an accident or someone hacked them or something and then went back in, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
there's and that's why it's like pretty difficult, to understand, or like to like draw a real line on. But like, because I mean the thing is like, why do we discern ourselves from pay to play accounts? And I would assume most of you guys would say like basically the experience rates that we get. You would rather, enjoy the achievement of getting a 99 at 50k XP per hour rather than getting a 99 at 1 mil XP per hour, right? So, like, the real discerning point is the experience rates that you're able to get rather than whether you spent $5 on membership, because you can spend $5 on bank space, or you can spend $5 on like cosmetics in free to play, right? So
I don't think paying for the game has anything to do with it. Yeah.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, just paying for cosmetics, like, I don't consider you pay to play if you buy, 50 bank space.
Right.
So final point, I guess, I understand that it's hard to decide or hard to discern or whatever, but I think that just like in the last podcast, I think that it's extremely important to take a innocent until proven guilty standpoint until, like, you can prove like this person was doing, a pay to play method and therefore should be, removed from free to play.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and once you start talking about experience rates, then you get to the case like Nomac, where he went pay to play specifically to get like a 120 cape. And whether or not he did pay to play methods doesn't really come into it, but it's the fact that his account now has, pay to play content on it that is not only attainable in free to play. And like Derek said, then you can have people hiding, like some free to play skiller recently or whatever that got pay to play and was doing mining at a faster rate in pay to play worlds, and trying to disguise it as free to play gain when it wasn't. So there's so many weird cases there.
Yeah.
It would require.
In terms of like going to buy a 120 cape, I can understand like you wanting to do it, but that is you willingly going and doing something that is pay to play. In which case, I think you should be removed from free to play.
Right.
Right. So like he decisively chose, I am going to go pay to play in order to do something that is pay to play. Wherein
Right.
if you got like hacked or something and they made you a member, you didn't decisively go free to play or go pay to play, I mean.
Yeah, it's tough. Alright, do you have a best and a worst RuneScape memory or experience? It could be like a bad merch that just went wrong, or a good memory like getting a 99 or a certain total level or 200 mil, etc.
Getting 99 cooking. No, but maxing definitely. It took about a year or so, and it's what I would like. It was a long time coming, and I was really happy to get it.
Nice. Yeah, for me, I don't know. I don't really have nothing that shines out right now. When I finish smithing, I thought it would be really, really nice because I've spent a fair few months on this skill. Probably the most I've ever spent on a single skill alone. So I don't really have any best moments so far, but definitely finishing smithing and getting 120 magic in smithing on my superheating account, that will feel really good. As for bad memories, nothing really. Nothing bad has happened to me.
Just wait.
Just wait. I don't know about any like favorite or anything, but there are some memories that I can still picture clearly, and probably the best one would probably be my maxing party on my free to play skiller nose. I still remember that. It was a pretty fun time, and it was like really big achievement. Probably the worst experience that I remember still is probably getting like 20 prayer or whatever on accident on my skiller. I accidentally clicked those skulls from the world event.
Oh. Yeah.
And I thought like my life was over. But then I got it reset, obviously. But yeah, those are some pretty my best and worst, I guess.
That freaking Halloween event, dude. It's the worst.
That event was just terrible.
Yeah.
My best memory is probably one that I shared with Jesper. On old school, I went from 25 mil, I think, to 4 bill. And then I did it again the week after. I went from, I think, 10 mil to like 2.1 bill. I legitimately almost passed out at one point in that. And
Was
I
this
felt like,
staking?
yeah, staking. I felt like the biggest loser in the entire world because I was literally hyperventilating because I cannot. This was the second time when I went from 10 mil to like 2+ bill.
Hey, I'd be doing it too.
I was literally hypervent. You could ask for. I was like, I need a minute. I almost just passed out. It was so sad, but it was really awesome. And my worst memory was back in the day, my friend offered me a rune scimitar to do some mining for him. This was like in 5th grade, and of course I did the mining because I wanted that rune scimitar, and he gave it to me, so I was hyped. And then a couple days later, it was off my account, and he fucking took it from me. And I haven't talked to him since.
What a bitch.
Yeah, I was pissed. Oh, and then I got scammed so many times. Like, then I finally got enough money to get a rune skim, and the little bitch put in a myth skim, noted, for like a sweet deal. So I was like, hell yeah, I accepted really fast because I thought the kid was an idiot, but I got scammed, and it was a myth scimitar.
Good
That's funny.
times. Good times.
So my best memory would probably be like I think it was 4 years ago, maybe 5, that I maxed on. It was a pay-to-play account, just like a maxed main, and that was kind of fun. It was a long time coming when it happened, and so it was kind of bittersweet because I basically quit like a month after I maxed, so and that was probably the longest time that I'd ever quit RuneScape for. So, but another extremely good one was the very start of old school. I was going extremely hard at that when it first came out, and there was a period where I went from 82 runecrafting to 91 doing astrals in maybe like a week and a half or so, and it was an experience because I did it over the summer when back when I was in high school, and I had no obligations whatsoever. I got up and was just like on Scape, just runecrafting astrals all day until I went back to sleep, and that was probably the most hard I've ever actually gone at RuneScape. So that was kind of cool. It was good memory now. I don't know how I did it, but it was cool. And then worst memory, I would say I don't have one that specifically stands out above the rest of them, but
The
I
rest
think
of
I think I think that one of them was it was probably like 2 months into creating my account. I was just strolling along in Falador, and somebody just gave me 90K. He was like, "Hey, what's up?" And I was like, "I have 10K. I'm trying to make 100K." Took me 2 months to make that 10K, and he gives me 90K, and I was on top of the moon, right? Like I was just excited, ecstatic. And then so I teleport to Lumbridge, and I go up to the top where the bank is, and some dude's like, "Hey, you want a free 1,000 death runes?" And I was like, "Of course, that's awesome." So they gave me 1,000 death runes, and at this point I was like yelling to my mom, right? I was like, "Oh my God, mom, look at this! This guy, he's so generous, and I'm so excited about this, right?" And so I was like, all right, so I need to do something with this newly acquired wealth. I'm gonna go to Varrock and I'm gonna trade it. So go to Varrock and I'm hype. I'm so excited. I've just gotten so much free stuff. I'm trying to get like full rune, right? And somebody trades me. They did the like immediate takedown thing. I accepted, and nothing was in my inventory at the end of it.
Rip.
So I went from nothing to on top of the world and then back to nothing in like an hour, and it was the biggest roller coaster, and it turned out to be terrible in the end. I felt so bad about it.
Horrible.
I remember, yeah, that brings back one memory when I was, I must have been like, this is the first time I ever played RuneScape or something. Like, I don't know, I was a kid. I was like 7 or 8 or something, and I got a rune scimitar and a rune plate legs from a drop party. And I remember telling my dad like the importance of these items is like, these are the best in the game right here. I'm killing it. And yeah, and then I lost them somehow. I don't remember, but good times. All right, how do you feel about tournament worlds? Do you think it's too late for Jagex to be cashing in on the ideas that private servers tried to accomplish for so many years, or do you think it's a nice update, and you're gonna use it? For me, Marco showed me these a few days ago, like a week ago maybe now, and it's been a lot of fun. It's always kind of like the dream, you know, like go into a server and have max stats, max gear, and then just have an evil level playing field to fight people with. And so I think it's a great update, and I like that it's officially approved by Jagex. You know, it's not a private server. There's no risk involved. So yeah, I think it's great. It's a very nice update, even though it's probably going to die out, you know, eventually, like Deadman Mode did. But for now, anyone who wants can go in and PK and try their hand at all sorts of different styles of combat, which wasn't really doable before without a bunch of preparation and stuff like getting a fire cape and making money for weapons. So yeah, I think it's great.
Percy just happened to leave out that I smacked him quite a few times. I did decimate him countless number of times.
Wait, I have the count. I think it's
yeah, we'll get
36 times.
Yeah, 36 to
Dang.
maybe 11, 12 maybe?
No, like 22.
No, I don't know about that.
I heard 4.
Yeah, something like that. But anyway, they are a lot of fun, but someone who did PK on Old School for a couple of months in the pure PKing community, I don't think it's good for the PKing community whatsoever, because the Wildy was already dead, and now it's just going to be even more.
Right, now there's no appeal to go actually PK.
Yeah, exactly.
They're only temporary though, right?
I don't think so.
Oh, really?
Because there's no reason why they... Last time they added them, it was just for teams to prep for the PKing tournament, but I don't think there's any reason for them to add them again.
Okay.
But I may be wrong, but still. But I don't think they'll die out either, because who would not want to PK for like 10, 20 minutes, their friends, max stats, you don't have to do anything. Sorry, I got a text and lost my train of thought as usual. I'm like the squirrel from what's that movie? Or no, the dog from Up, where he sees a squirrel and he's like, yeah, that's me. So I forgot what I was gonna say. Next person.
Yeah, I see why they made the servers, but I really dislike them. Like, I feel like they should have spent the money for something like Australian servers or something. And with the update with Dragon Claws coming to the servers, I think that's also very bad.
Desperate also forgot to mention that he did get shat on as well, and that's why I think he does prefer the tournament worlds.
I'm 1-1 so far.
Yeah, he actually killed me the first time I fought him. That's so embarrassing.
Wow, I'm done. Oh yeah, and special announcement: we are having an EHP 2v2 PKing tournament.
Oh yeah.
That hopefully we have discussed our tactics for. If anyone wants to come fight us,
yeah, we're
we will
sick
be
PKers.
thoroughly embarrassed, but we would love at least some practice for bigger and better teams. So you can PM every game. Thank you.
Specifically Rot.
Yes.
I think they're pretty cool, the tournament worlds. I think they should have done it earlier though, if they were going to do it, because I don't know. I think private servers just took away a lot of their business back in the day.
Yeah,
And
really did.
right now it's not that big of an issue, but they used to be, I think. And I know people just hated grinding all the skills. They just wanted to get the stats and then PK. So I don't know. I think they should have done it a bit earlier. Yeah.
So a lot of what's can be said about them has been, but I think that one thing to note about them is a lot of people, it'll generate a lot of hype, and people will enjoy doing it for a decent amount of time. But in the same vein that they're very private server-esque, they're also very private server-esque in the fact that people don't want to actually play that for longer periods of time. So, um, like when you create a new account to go PKing or whatever, you have to work on it for a few months, depending on what type of account, obviously, before you can actually go PK. And that is part of the appeal to it because it makes it so that once you are able to go PK, it's much more rewarding and you feel a higher sense of accomplishment. So by immediately giving that to players, it kind of cuts out the amount of time that they're willing to put into playing RuneScape itself. But I don't know whether or not that's imbalanced by the amount of hype that it creates. So I think that there's definitely good points to it and bad points to it. I don't know which one outweighs the other, though.
Yeah, and when you were talking there, I sort of remembered. I don't know if you guys watch Bodhi, but he used to have this series. I don't know what it's called. The one where he tried to get like a 50 kill streak or something in the wilderness.
One Man Army.
One Man Army, yeah.
No, that
So
wasn't
people
it.
were
He had
loving
two
it,
of them
right? Like when
that.
he was building up his account, unlocking items, everyone was like so stoked. Oh, he's gonna go PK, and then like there was 20 episodes or something where he was trying to get this kill streak. And people
And
were just like,
people-
this
yeah.
is boring,
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, I think it might be something like that with Tournament Worlds where the journey, is more appealing than really the end goal. And it could be just, different than content, but I don't know. I make that sort of
Yeah, there's
comparison.
definitely a lot of people that make, like, I don't know if it outweighs the people that do eventually go PK, but I know that there's a decent amount of people that make pures not really to PK, but just really to make a pure sort of thing.
Yep. And I mentioned this before, but it's been said a lot by people who are like, the most fun part of making a pure is training it up, unlocking, doing the quests, not
God,
actually PKing
no.
with it.
I'd
But for
have to
me
disagree
that
with
definitely
that.
applies, like doing content. And especially for me, I can't PK for like many hours at a time. I tried, but compared to skilling, it's very difficult. Anyways, what is your stance on Ironman restrictions? What advantages and bonuses should they receive from events, if any?
I think what they have right now for Iron Man is okay. I just think they shouldn't be allowed to interact with anyone. That's basically. I don't mind if they get like some bonus experience or anything, or if they can use the Wheel of Fortune, or not Wheel of Fortune, Treasure Hunter. I know right now they can't use Treasure Hunter, but I think they should be able to. I don't see a huge problem with that. Besides, like XP lamps and like just money you get from that. But yeah.
How do you view group bossing as an Ironman, since that's really interacting with other players?
Are you allowed to group boss right now, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you are?
But only with other Ironmen.
Oh yeah, of course. I don't know. I think that's okay. Since you kind of like if you want to get like a completionist cave or something, you kind of have to do some stuff like that. But they could just remove it completely and just not have to do any group stuff. That'd be fine with me too.
Okay.
Yeah, one thing I would like, even though I don't really play Iron Man, is Group DG, maybe? That's the only thing I would think of.
I definitely do not think they should be able to use Treasure Hunter. I think some of the appeal for some Ironmen is not having that part of the game, the pay-to-win aspect of the game. They don't have to participate in at all. And
Oh yeah.
as
Well,
far as events go, I think that they should be able to participate in the events just like any other player. because they are still like a normal player, but they just have trade restrictions and other stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of a touchy subject, but I think that Jaggers did really well for the most part with these restrictions. The only thing it really slipped up on is for like weekend bonuses when Artisan's Workshop was doubled XP for Ironman. We were sort of talking about this before, but if you had stocked up your resources, then you could gain XP at a 50% or 100% faster rate in addition to the 2x bonus they gave, because you needed to spend time to gather those resources and also use them, kind of like you do with summoning on bonus XP weekend. So I think they've done pretty well for the most part. So like in events, I think they should be able to participate, but I don't think the rewards be available to them, like bonus XP or stuff like that. Stuff that provides an overpower advantage, but small things usually aren't too bad.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna interrupt. Just to follow up on what I said about Treasure Hunter, I kind of forgot to mention, like, I think, yeah, getting experience lamps is kind of cheating, or I think they should still allow you to get resources and stuff, like sapphire necklaces and stuff for summoning, and you shouldn't be able to buy them. You just get the one daily spin. So, yeah, not like.
All right.
Yeah.
I think that to touch on a few of the points that have been raised here, this kind of affects me slightly more than everyone else.
Right.
But first, so the first point is group dungeoneering, and this definitely should absolutely not be a Ironman thing, because you're able to boost Ironman. Like, so people, if you remember, a while ago there was this big thing around buying and selling floors, and that definitely shouldn't be part of Ironman. And you might think, well, how does that happen? But realistically, I can go and sell floors on my Ironman and make an Ironman account specifically for that, because an Ironman floor is going to be worth more than selling a normal floor, and you can just pay through their mains. So basically, if you allow group DG for Ironman, you're just basically going to have people leeching and buying floors and selling floors again, for higher XP rates than Ironmen who actually play like Ironmen. So
Right.
that's one thing. Group bossing, that I also think shouldn't be a thing. Like, they already made that update, so they aren't gonna just take it out. But I don't think it should have been the case in the first place anyway, because if they just made it so that you can enter every given boss room just by yourself, and it doesn't physically limit you to having to have more than one person in the party or whatever, because the thing is, at the end of the day, every single given boss that's in the game at this point will eventually get to a point at which it could be soloed, and you might be like, oh, well, there's no way that raids are ever going to be soloed, or there's no way that Virago is ever going to be able to be soloed. And at this exact point in time, I don't know whether or not they would be, but just like every single other given boss in the history of the entire game, people have eventually found a way to solo the bosses, and there's no reason to say that at this point, if someone says Nex is unsoloable, you think, oh, hey, look at this idiot, right? And so somebody right now might say Virago is unsoloable, and I would say, no, not hey, look at this idiot, because nobody's ever done it as of yet. But I guarantee at one point or another, someone will eventually be able to evolve the meta enough in order to be able to do it.
Right, and with constant, updates and changes to the best gear that we have, like T90s, T99s, T95s.
It's going to eventually get easier as well, not just meta changes. So there's that. But it's more so, it's less of an issue than group DG, but I still don't think it should be in the game. Next.
Yeah. Sorry. Touching on Group DG, especially because like at the beginning of Ironman, I remember Drary talking about how like the most efficient way to train Slayer right at the beginning was to get Reaper tasks, and then have your main come and do that. So there'd be that advantage as well. Probably some abuse. Group DG, just bringing your main.
Yeah, there's a lot of abuse in terms of people using mains on Ironman, such as tanking bosses and like lighting fires for your Ironman account, etc.
Right.
At the beginning of Ironman, there was a point in time at which you could use your Book of Char on logs that a different account dropped. So
That's
people
interesting.
got quite a bit of fire making XP from that. So you could also tag it and kill it, like do proportional HP damage to make it like better training XP. There's just a lot of things that by adding group DG and by adding group bossing, it makes it so that Ironman accounts are even more exploitable than what they currently are.
To talk about group bossing, do you think that you personally would be able to solo the new KVD?
Oh, certainly. Guarantee it. There was somebody in the FC that I was talking to, one of the other free-to-play Ironman, and he, on his main, he was like, well, on his Ironman account, he was talking to me and saying, hey, I'm gonna go try and solo it on my main, and, using free-to-play gear and food and whatnot, and he said he was able to solo it, so unless they like buff it, when they do that update or anything, I'm almost certain that I could do it. And even if I can't, right? Like even if the first trip I go and I die, I guarantee that I'm able to, find small little things to make it so that I'm able to do better, and eventually get to the point at which I'm able to kill it. Just like I was saying, pay to play accounts will eventually get to the point at which they'll be able to solo Virago. Maybe not now, or tomorrow, or a week, or even a year, but, eventually. So, yeah, there's that. And then also with spins, spins definitely... So, Derek, you said that you, don't want... Basically, you were saying that the only thing that they should be allowed to is the one daily spin. And I think that if you're doing one daily spin, it's not that big of a deal up until that one daily spin turns into a 200 mil cash stack or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So
well, obviously, they should be able to scale the rewards down to something that's more reasonable. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, and I think that that's a fair viewpoint because it's not going to be like some ridiculously overpowered thing. But I don't think that they should do it because by doing that, you would make something that is specifically geared for Ironman, and just like in free to play, they shouldn't make content specifically to appeal to any one given subset of players.
Besides just normal pay to play.
Yeah. And so, well, what I mean by that is if they do an update and your account, however you have limited it, is able to do it, then that's great, right? But they shouldn't be like, all right, we need to make an update so that free-to-play Ironman skillers with 12 rune crafting can do this method,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I agree with you on the point there. If they scaled it all the way back, then it'd be fine, but there'd be no real point in doing it.
Yeah, what I was thinking was, on my Ironman, I'd like to get the promotional stuff, the cosmetic stuff would be pretty cool to get. But
people and cosmetics.
I could see that. They could make it so it's every single reward is just completely not available, and if you land on any given reward, it's just you don't get anything. But if you land on a cosmetic, then you get it. Right, so the rarity wouldn't change at all, so it wouldn't be better to spin for, cosmetic items on an Ironman, but if you happen to get that one, then that's the only, item that you actually get. Something like that. But
people always want more, though. If you give them one spin, then someone will want, well, I got the premier package, why can't I get 2 spins?
Yeah.
And then Fred, who gets Premier Package on 2 of his accounts, he's gonna be like, "Well, can I get 4 spins on my Ironman because I got 2 Premier Packages?"
Yeah, and
So
I honestly, if there was Squill, like if you could spin just exactly as you do on main accounts, I wouldn't be playing right now. And like I know that that's me saying me particular. It's not like I'm one person quitting isn't going to be the end of the world for them. But I know that there's a lot of people that take pride in the integrity that it holds by not being able to spin. So
I can see that. I agree. Yeah.
and then also bonus XP from events. I think that they recently made a standpoint on it actually, saying that we're able to do the event and we're able to get the experience that any normal given account would get, but you don't get XP over the regular XP that you would get. So like for example, the cooking event, it was pretty OP XP, but it wasn't like it was bonus experience on top of something. So we
Yeah.
would be able to do the cooking event, but we wouldn't be able to do the artisans workshop event because it was XP that was gained beyond what you would normally be getting, which I think
Right.
is the perfect way to go about doing it. You shouldn't restrict them from doing the content, but you shouldn't be giving them, percentage boosts in XP over what the base XP rate is.
Okay. Yeah.
Hopefully they stay
Alright.
true to that reward.
Yeah, we'll see what they do with further updates. Yeah. Okay. All right. Do you like questing, and do you like completing content?
Well, I don't really complete content on my skiller, but I've been questing on my old school account. I guess it's pretty cool to follow the storyline, but I kind of like gaining XP more than just grinding for XP.
Yeah, honestly, whenever I do quests, I just don't even pay attention to the story. I just use the wiki and just like skim through it as fast as I can. I do enjoy doing quests because of the just completing a quest gives me some achievement, some satisfaction. But I just prefer skilling over questing. And completing content, there's not really much I can do in free to play, but I don't know. I think it's fun to do. I think I just prefer gaining experience over anything really.
Yeah. No, sorry, it's Hecate.
So I mean, I think that questing is like all of that stuff is enjoyable things, like doing quests, doing tasks, all of it's really enjoyable content because it's just like a break from the norm. But I think that it's just not anywhere near proportional for like in terms of the amount of dev time to the amount of interaction that you get out of it. So I mean, they're fun, right? It's a nice break. It's fun to do, but it's definitely not the best time for your money or time for your dev time or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I enjoy questing a fair bit, but I'm like Derek. Like, I like completing quests. I'm not a huge lore dude. I just sort of like speed running them and getting them done because I don't know. It feels good to get things done, if that makes sense. Which is sort of the appeal of completing content. It's like, oh, I unlocked this cool thing. I don't have to do it again. Which is always a nice feeling. Which, yeah, but what like Hecate said, it's like you do it once and then it's done. Unless you make new accounts or something like that. But that's where skilling provides a lot more time spent on a certain thing for less dev time, and even though it's more grindy, I think that skilling is probably more my thing, and I'd prefer skilling over like going for a trimmed completionist or something unless I was extremely bored. But I think it's fun. I mean, I've been questing on my pay-to-play for a few weeks now, and I still find it enjoyable unless I mess up like yesterday and spend 2 hours on some really bad quest. Then it's
Before they did that rework to Elemental Workshop 3, I did that way back in the day, and that was I literally fell asleep doing that 3 times.
Yeah, I did 1 through 4 of those in one day, and at the end of it, I was like, yeah, I'm done with puzzles for the rest of my life. It's not fun. But you're right, the rework was really nice. I'm glad for the JMUD who did that. All right.
I hate questing
sorry.
as well as completing content. I actually gave permission to Percy that if I ever got a trim completionist cape, he can murder me, and everything will be okay. He won't have to go to jail or anything, but I just don't think I like questing because I've done certain quests so many times. Like, I have to do Monkey Madness on my pay-to-play account, but I really don't think I can do it because I've done that quest so many times. But I guess... sorry, I'm doing cash right now. I guess if it's a good... I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Never mind.
If there's good rewards from it, you mean, or something?
Good, yeah, sure. Good rewards. Yep. So like Elf City, I will gladly do that quest. But yeah, questing is definitely not my cup of tea.
Also, Percy has I think a completionist guide on the beta website.
Oh yeah.
I read that.
Sure
That's
does.
pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, like
Except for the music.
yeah, except for the music. The music is so screwed, but it's practically impossible in free to play.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, it's fun. Like, there's so much content in RuneScape. It's really amazing. Like, I don't know if you guys saw this post on the 2007 Reddit, but it was like, there's this really obscure gnome delivery system,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
and if you complete this mini game or something and you get the reward, then they'll deliver food into your inventory, and so you can do it while you're fighting Jad. So you get like some extra healing, and it's like, you know, who would have thought that there's this obscure mini game and it provides you this bonus while you're fighting a pretty difficult boss or something like that.
It's
so-
actually a best in slot sort of thing, but you can only have it for one slot. So like the amount of HP that it restores is the best for any one singular given like spot, but
Right.
it's not very practical, but it's a cool find nonetheless.
Yeah. So I mean, there's stuff like that. There's content that you can unlock. I mean, like, that's the whole point of True Trim. It's just like figuring out all the nooks and crannies of the entire game. It's difficult, but it's still pretty interesting. All right. Are there any other players you would have liked to have kept playing in the past, or you'd like to see them play more competitively in the future?
No. I can't think of anyone really besides, I don't know, there's some people, like some Dungers in my friend's chat that have left that I wish they were still here. I miss them a lot. But I guess names would be like the Shubba, a good Dunger, she quit. Also, a good friend,
Posing.
yeah, Post-Sang. No, and Silly Muggle.
Oh, did she quit? She, I don't know.
Yeah, she quit.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Well, not really, she just took a break, I guess. I don't even know what's going on. Anyways, yeah, moving on.
Yeah, for me in free to play, I miss Lady Lorith. She was a good player. Like, casual but still efficient, and always really nice, fun to GG with. I wish she didn't stop playing, but I think she really decided she spent enough time on the game and rather do more stuff in real life. And as for someone I'd like to have kept playing, definitely Foot when Old School was released. Foot would, if he had been playing this entire time, no doubt he'd be top page, if not rank 1. You know, he was rank 1 back in the day, like first day of release or something. And he was a really good player. He still has like top page fishing, 71 mil XP, and he hasn't played for a year or so. So there's no doubt he's one of the best, you know, most focused, even if he did write some interesting bot scripts back in the day. But yeah, I would have liked to have kept him playing to see his competition with Jibram when he was also going for a max.
I would have liked to see Derek keep playing on Nose. Every time I look at the free-to-play skiller high scores, I realize how far ahead he actually was.
I second that.
And it just, like, I I don't know how to say it. It's crazy. He could have easily made it to 1 bill. Well, I guess I can talk to you. You could have easily made it to 1 bill total XP, and you had like such a huge lead. And nothing against Verk, of course, that's a great
Well,
achievement, but
if I still played, he probably would have got 1 bill before me, just because he did smithing and crafting, and I probably wouldn't have done that. But
yeah, I know. But you had high in XP and non-viables.
yeah, compared to like hours played, yeah, I think I have close to same as Verk and Cat right now in hours. A little bit less, but yeah.
So I would have liked to see Derek keep playing on nose, and then who's that other skiller? I can't believe I forgot his name, but he was like literally 15 years old, and he was the #1 free-to-play skiller for a while.
Oh, Skilla.
Yes, Skilla.
He was like 15 years old.
No, he really was. The kid's like,
Serious?
I think he's like 16 now. Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
I'm pretty sure he's like 20 now, but
What? I don't
He was
think
just-
he's that old.
he was young when we were young, so I don't know.
No, I'm pretty like. Oh, you're probably right. This
think-
was two. I'm thinking about 2 summers ago.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
you're probably right. But whatever. Like, he's was young at the time for his achievements, and he was always. I would talk to him a lot, and he always had his plans on what he was going to do, and I like to see that and hear about that. And it's a shame that he quit. And Lady Loris, like Percy said, she was always extremely nice. And Sarah, I wish she did not quit, because that just makes her look more guilty to people that don't really know the story, or don't or have different opinions on the situation. And it's sad that she had to give in and let the people win.
Right.
I don't really know too many in terms of free to play, and really the only one that I know in free to play was Water, but since then, ever since he like went pay to play and whatnot, like I wish he played the way he played back in the day, right? And that would be cool, but the only other, like, I second Foot, right? Foot playing was awesome, and
Yeah.
to an extent, Dreary, like I know he plays and he does amazing for pay to play Ironman, but when he was playing old school as well, like that was pretty cool. But I guess like the only other really one, a free to play, well, 2 free to play Ironman, that 3 actually that quit was Zolap, who was 28 mil mining XP. He was at one point ranked 2 in terms of EHP, and nobody was even close to me and him. So it kind of sucks that he stopped. He wasn't ranked 2 in terms of like total level or total XP or anything like that, but his EHP was insane. And then Iron No Space was somebody who just kind of quit for whatever reason, I don't know. And then also Aflux, who also quit for no reason whatsoever, apparently.
Didn't Iron No Space get banned on one of his accounts?
I don't know if he did or not.
Okay, I heard something about some Iron Man that was banned.
Oh no. The only one that was confirmed is someone who was way like 3 months into Iron Man mode. He had like 150 mil XP, and that one got banned.
Oh, okay.
So if he was a legitimate player, he was playing 24. I mean, realistically, like at one point I like sort of calculated how much time he was actually having to play, and if he was a real player, at the point in time, like a month or so before he got banned or whatever, he was having to play like 22 hours a day. So
Yikes. Alright.
yeah, and then but yeah, with Zolap, he's been around. Like I know that he didn't get banned. He decidedly quit. No Space just left one day. Same thing with Aflux. So I don't know where they are, but whatever they're doing. Hi, if you're watching.
I don't know exactly which players, but kind of agreeing with MHHI that
Really?
Oskilla and knows, because more players on the skill high scores would mean more competition, and I like competition, so yeah.
Right.
Well, I guess a lot of people have said they wish I was still playing on nose, so I should say something. But
Yeah.
the reason I stopped playing at the time was probably because, well, I stopped playing as soon as Ironman came out. I started playing on Sad Stash.
Sad stash.
Yeah, I
The
was having a
saga.
lot.
I'll throw in one more account. I wish Sad Stash was back.
Yeah, I started playing on him. I was having a lot more fun. So I just didn't really enjoy the grind of skilling anymore. And the same thing happened on Sad Stash when I quit him. I was basically making videos, and I got tired of making videos because it was just like so much work just to put out one video. You're just forcing myself to play, which I didn't really want to do.
Right.
And instead, I just wanted to dungeoneer, basically. That's all I had fun doing. So, looking back on it now, I kind of regret a little bit not sticking with nose, because I know, yeah, I'd be probably near the top again. But I kind of like how I started this account, Dirk. I kind of like my achievements I have on here, and I certainly am glad I continued dunging.
Yeah,
So
I
much
would
fun.
say don't regret it because like regardless of how much you throw away, which it's not like you threw it away, right? You can still go back if you really want, but
Yeah.
if the point if what you're doing right now is more enjoyable and makes you more happy than what you would be doing if you took the other road, you made the right decision.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, and I'm glad you started Dirk too, because now you're gonna be like the sickest max in free to play.
Well, once I max, I'll probably be done with it until I get to an Emerald Dunge, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's cool. It's
Well
it's very nice. You have some crazy accounts. It's pretty inspiring. All right. So, what are your thoughts on the upcoming rune metrics update, and how do you feel about the subscription based part of the service that you're gonna need to pay something like 2 bonds a month? I
A
think.
bond every other month, I think it was.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
So
I
like
get that
half a
mixed up.
bond a month, basically.
Yeah. All right.
I actually tweeted about this, and I think I forget how it happened, but somehow Aubrey or Autumn Elegy responded to me. Actually, I think I responded to his tweet, and whatever happened. Basically, I was talking to him about it, and he said, I originally wasn't that happy about having to pay for it, but then he explained like all the stuff it offers, and all the time and energy, I guess, to keep it going is
Right.
worth the bond every other month. So he convinced me that paying for it was okay. And I'm really excited for it because I can track my fat gains per hour.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, and you tweeted about it, right? So it will be available for free-to-play players, and it won't affect your pure free-to-play status.
Yeah.
So, Hecate or Hecate, whatever you go by.
Yeah.
You know, you know a lot of info about this, and we talked about it earlier. So basically, like, basic version of the free version, you get like the speed tracker, and that's the only thing I like about it, and I like it, so I can't wait until it comes out.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what Aubrey was saying to you, but I was talking. We were talking about it, a little bit before the podcast, and it is absolute. Like, I am all right. So me personally, I'm extremely excited about it,
Yes.
and I am legitimately upset at the community for being so ridiculous as to complaining and backlashing to the extent that they are about the fact that this is a paid service. So they're offering the free service, which is we aren't sure as to like what it exactly entails, but we do know that basically the free service is whenever you log in, you're going to be able to get a real-time graph of your XP rates. And that alone is absolutely amazing, right?
Yeah.
So then the subscription part of it is the storage of that data. And in order to store that data, it costs a whole lot of money. So the way that I explained this before is your account, like you can make an account for free and it stores that data on their servers. And the reason why it's like free and they don't have to charge you specifically just for an account is because when you create your account, it takes up a certain amount of memory and everything on your account is just fluctuating between values. So for example, your like attack XP, that's a value that you have tied to your account. And whenever you get an experience point, that value simply changes. However, what's happening with this rune metrics is whenever you get an experience point, a variable doesn't change, but a variable is added, as well as whenever you get a drop, whenever you pick up a drop, and multiple other things. Variables are continuously added at thousands of times per minute, and to store that data is extremely, extremely expensive. So like the subscription, they are completely justified in charging for what the service they're providing. I'm excited for it.
Right.
Did I answer all the questions? I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully I explained it.
Yeah, you explained that really well.
Good too.
And so I'd like to touch like the free to play aspect of it, right? Like for people who aren't going to be paying for it, like me, I don't want to spend that money. I hardly spend any money on this game other than like a members account occasionally. But like, if we have that XP per hour tracking and that graphing system, which is going to be amazing. It's another example of Jagex cashing in what other services have tried to do. First it was private servers and tournament worlds, and now this is kind of like what toolkits are trying to do. Like Alt1 toolkit has XP per hour tracking, and so does OS Buddy and stuff. And so now they're offering a legit, I don't want to say legit, but like a
first party.
First party
program.
Yeah, then that's a lot nicer. And to be fair, like I don't need that much. Like Hecate was saying earlier before the podcast, we don't really want or care about every XP that we gain. Like at what second did we gain, this one dungeoneering XP or whatever. And if you really need information about tracking, you can just use a system like CML or RuneClan that stores basically all your XP gain data in their database offsite. So you could use that if you're a free player. You don't have to pay anything. It's mainly for bossers or PVMers that want to keep a detailed drop log for all of their stuff. So I think it's going to be a great update. It's really smart, and they're including some good features. Some things that popped up, like when I first saw it, I was like, please, because they also said that they're going to redo the adventurer's log. I don't know if you guys saw the same thing I did.
They're importing the data from the current adventures log,
Right.
So nothing's being lost. The data that is currently in there isn't going to be as detailed that the data that they're building with this rune metric system is, but it's not gonna disappear or anything.
Right. So they said that they're redoing it. So the first thing that came to mind is like, holy crap! Please give free to play a way to track their hours played. That's
that'd be cool.
That's all I want.
I don't need that.
But I don't think that they'll do that.
I don't need that. Yeah, they probably won't, but that would be such a nice update, and it'd be easy enough to do when they're doing this stuff. Anyways, that's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, all I really care about is like the graphs and stuff. Even though right now I'm basically like you can do it all yourself with a calculator. It just makes life easier, and I don't know. I'm pretty excited for it. I think it'll be a pretty sweet update.
Okay, sorry. There's a new goddamn. Sliskelion D&D that gives a large XP lamp basically every week if you're playing enough. You have to get 50 of those mask pieces and then trade it in. Anyways, so do you think it's overpowered? What are your thoughts on it? So it should be out for 30 to 40 weeks, which is about 1 to 1.4 mil XP at level 99. Thanks for Hecate for those numbers. So yeah, how do you feel about it? Me personally, I think it's great. I like dailies. I think it's cool that they're bringing more into the free-to-play game. So more XP, more mining XP is great. I'm perfectly happy with that. More content.
I personally really, really despise every sort of daily and weekly thing. Honestly, a legitimately huge reason as to why I am a free-to-play account rather than a member is because members is literally dailyscape with 90% of the XP that they gain. So, I really don't like doing them. I don't think it's that OP. The reason why it's only going to be out for about 30 to 40 weeks is because it's ending whenever they release the final quest in Sliskay's endgame or whatever they're calling it.
Right.
And they said it was going to be out in like late 2016. So, I mean, obviously that number is variable, but yeah, 1 to 1.4 mil XP or so. It's not really that big of a deal. It is completely free XP. You know, it's 0 time XP, but it's not that much. I don't think it's OP, but I don't think that it's needed. I don't think it was a needed update, basically.
Right.
I don't mind it at all. It's definitely not OP because it's 30 to 40 weeks or whatever it is. And plus you have to you have to be skilling to gain the pieces.
That's true, you can't just buy it.
Wait, you could buy it?
No,
I said that's true, you can't just buy it.
Yeah, I actually like that. But apparently you don't get any while fishing, so I don't know what they were thinking about that.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
I don't know if that was like a misstep on their part.
I'm pretty sure it was. I don't see why it's not like.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, they said go about your day normally. But
they usually mess up on simple stuff, so.
Yeah.
I'm kind of on the same boat as Hecate. I don't really like dailies at all. They kind of make me feel forced to play, make me feel like I need to play, so I need to get all these pieces before the time runs out. This makes me feel the rush, and that's the reason I don't play members. I don't think it's OP at all. It's 1 mil experience in 40 weeks. That's pretty fine. I think it's pretty good for Ironman as well, or for Ironman free-play skillers because they can use it on Dunge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind the XP lamps you get from it. I just don't really like the fact that you have to I don't know, daily thing you have to do.
I like it because I enjoy lossless mining XP.
Are you getting them while smithing?
Yeah, I banged the shit out of these swords. I didn't even know fishing you couldn't get them because I've been banging swords for 8 months now. So I wouldn't know. So I learned something new with this podcast. Thank you. But I like it. Don't think it's that OP. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. You could probably calc it out, but it's probably obviously you should use it on mining or prayer if you're an Ironman, but it's probably equivalent to training 10 minutes of prayer a day for 40 weeks. So it's nothing.
It's 50 EHP for me.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty nice. That's 1 hour a day. Not bad. All right. Anyways, moving forward. So now we get to talk about sort of the, as Hecate calls it, the great F2P update. So how should the KBD and the Giant Moles drop tables be reworked in order to fit the free-to-play game? Or should they not even be reworked at all? Oh,
Thank
sorry,
you,
that's me.
Yeah.
There's two parts to this. So they've said in the BTS or whatever that they're going to allow free-to-play players to sell their members' item in the free-to-play game, which will help, like previous members sell items to get their bonds back or whatever. But it also means that it gives Jagex a lazy way out with these two bosses in order that they don't change their drop tables whatsoever. And therefore, we'll just sell the drops we get on the GE, can't use them, and there's not really any difference. Which, considering the way Jagex has done updates in the past, and considering that they don't really care about free-to-play that much, then I'd imagine that's the way it's going to go. But as to what I'd like to see, I'd really like it if they changed it around, removed something like the Visage, and perhaps I'd love Dragon Bones to be free to play, but that probably won't happen.
Get out of here.
But I like it to be a moneymaker, so we'll see how it goes, but just the way I see it going is not good.
This doesn't really affect me. The only thing that affects me is that the pet, you need 99 summoning to have it follow you around, which I was actually really disappointed to finally Google that and find out the true answer, because I did want to get that pet as a level 3. I thought it would have been awesome, but
Do you think that they'll allow pets to be free to play?
It's tough to say.
yeah, probably not, because
I feel like in the end someone's gonna get a pet or get a pet drop, and then it'll just sit there and we won't be able to use it because they never thought this far ahead, and we'll be like, oh crap.
It's messed up.
yeah, that's the only thing that affects me. About the reworking, it just makes resources drop, which I'm all for.
Oh my
That's
god.
why I'm all for bots. Love them. So if Dave Chan could get us some scripts for the KBD killer, that'd be great.
Hook me up.
I guess I don't know if they should be altered at all. They might be altering them. I don't know. I think they're fine how they are now, and I think it'd be pretty cool if you were allowed to sell members' items on the Grand Exchange.
They've
but
confirmed that you are able to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Now I can sell my whole bank basically from treasure hunter shit. I think it's pretty cool. The King Black Dragon, I think, drops a Rune 2-handed sword. That's another way if Iron Man can actually get 2-handed swords now without needing 99 smithing. Or
Right.
and who don't want to get dungeon up, whatever, I don't know.
Or they can not be shit and get a G2H.
Exactly. Who don't want to do that, they can just kill King Black Dragon and get Rune 2-handed sword for some reason. For the mole, I don't really know much about it, but I'll probably try to kill it a few times and see if it's any good.
Yeah. So
It probably won't be any good money or experience, so
yeah. But hey, if it drops Dragon Bones, that means that the supply of Dragon Bones is going to increase, which means that I can train Prayer on my pay-to-play a lot easier
yeah,
and
that's
a lot
true.
cheaper, so that'll be sweet. And I'm sure pay-to-players will be happy with that as well.
Yeah, looking at the main drops, it looks like it's mostly free-to-play items. But did they confirm that Dragon Bones are not going to be free-to-play? Or
Oh, they did? Okay.
wait, no, did they? Or
Oh, no. I haven't heard anything
because
about it
that
yet.
would change the meta, I guess, for prayer.
It's very unlikely that they make Dragon Bones free to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
You can hope.
overall. Hopefully they just balance it accordingly.
So, is that all you want to say on it?
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna be killing it, so not much interest in it.
Yeah. I made a quite large video on the topic, and I think that beyond, so when I made the video, I didn't know that they were going to make it so that you could sell pay-to-play items on like in free-to-play worlds. So I was basically saying just downgrade everything, right? So like if you got a dragon helm, just make it a rune helm,
Right.
etc. So, but with that now, I very much like Percy, I'm pretty skeptical about them changing anything at all. I think that what they're likely to do is just do absolutely nothing and not do anything in terms of reworking. So, yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? I think I don't know whether or not it'd be actually better if they did do the rework for free to play, or if they just left it as it is and made it so that you could sell items. I don't know, but I think that they might or might not be making poison a free to play thing with this update, because the KBD actually poisons you, and
Oh, that's true.
I don't know whether or not they're gonna actually make it so that you can, buy anti-poison potions or not. What I had suggested is make it so that you can, kill when you kill unicorns, they actually drop the horns, and then you can just take that and the herb to the
Apothecary.
apothecary, yeah, and just have him make them. But I'm not sure. With that, with that second announcement, it's really up in the air right now. So we'll have to see.
There's so many factors. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll just have to wait and see. We know that's coming later this month, so probably not next week or week something after that. I'm not sure.
Well, room
Anyways.
metrics and this free-to-play update are both confirmed for this month, and so we have 3 more update days in the month, so we'll see.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so continuing along, they said that they're going to bring dual wielding and also some abilities into it. So any specific abilities that you think should become free to play with this update? And Hecate, I'll leave it to you to kind of describe this, because you know probably the most out of it of any of us.
Well, so real quick, a point on the previous thing. I just want to point it out. So the XP for main accounts in free to play is going to obviously be pretty terrible. I highly doubt anyone who will, that's a main account will actually kill these things for combat XP. But for Ironmen who can't use Clan Wars, it's possible that this could become the new meta for either range or mage training. So that's something to look out for. But in terms of the combat abilities, for melee, they don't actually really have to add anything, but I think that there are 3 that they definitely should. And since they're confirming dual wielding, they absolutely need to make something like Havoc or Flurry free to play, because if they don't, then not a single person is ever going to actually use dual wielding, because the DPS on a 2H and dual wielding is like completely the same, except for the abilities that you use. So like your DPS is based solely on your abilities if you're using the same tier weapons. So if they don't give anything exclusively to dual wielding, nobody's going to ever even use it. So I think that Havoc, Flurry, and Quake are the ones that need to be added for melee. However, the sort of condition that they're currently in with mage and range are horrible, to say the least. So when you're doing either range or mage, you are unable to do an uninterrupted sort of ability rotation. So like if you're on Revolution, or even you're doing manual casting, no matter what sort of line, or no matter what way you sort your abilities out, you will always either A, have to wait for an ability to come off cooldown, or B, interrupt some ability with something that doesn't actually do anything, like freedom or anticipation, in order to keep up your ability rotation, like keep it firing when doing both mage and range. Basically, that's really terrible if you want people to play EOC. So what I've said in my video is basically 3 abilities for both range and mage should become free to play, and very much so like with melee dual wielding, with mage and range dual wielding, if it's not if it's the same tier, they need to have dual wielding specific abilities, or else anyone's just going to use 2Hs because they're just simply better DPS.
All right.
And so the 3 ranged abilities, after going through them, should be Snipe, Needle Strike, and Rapid Fire. And then the combat abilities for magic should be Dragon Breath, Concentrated Blast, and Wild Magic. And I mean, that's my case basically. You shouldn't be having such a low amount of abilities that you can't even do a full ability rotation.
In a sense, I don't have much to say, but I think the Gravite weapon should definitely include the offhand variants. And I don't know if it should be included, but ability is I want to be included as Surge. It's the most fun ability.
Yes.
I would love for that to be.
Yeah, just fly around everywhere. It's awesome. But yeah.
Surge would be amazing. Oh my god. Do you think that there's a reason for them to add Surge, or do you more so just want them to add Surge?
Yeah, I don't think there's a reason, but
I'm on the same page as you. I want Surge so bad.
Marco? I think his mic or internet's cutting out. Okay.
Nope, just didn't hit my push to talk.
Okay.
But basically I said I have no answer.
All right. Yeah, well, Hecate really summarized that, and we'll link his video in the description if you want to have a more in-depth read or listen to it. But, what he said is really accurate. If they're going to be adding dual wield, they definitely need to be adding at least 3 of each dual wield ability into the free-to-play game, just so we can have a complete ability rotation for the best DPS, and just to make it complete. If you had dual wielding abilities dual wield without the abilities, then it's dead content right away. So yeah, and what Derek said is exactly what I was going to say. Surge is the #1 ability in the world. So I'd love for that one to become free to play, but it probably won't happen just because it really need to be. But it's such a basic ability. Like, all you need is 30 magic. Whatever.
Surge is the meta.
Yeah,
it's so much fun.
I'm a new surger, and I would definitely love to see that in free to play, but it would just allow me to practice more, so I do not surge into walls or rocks anymore.
Yeah, it happens to me a lot.
Oh, there was a quality post on the RuneScape subreddit where somebody they made the post saying me trying to be efficient, right? And it was this gif of some dude running around a rock and surging right into a wall and trying to keep running
That's
on.
me. That's literally me. It's great.
It's tough, but it's a good ability. It's fun.
Great ability.
And yeah, this sort of leads in, or I guess we're including the next question, but Gravite should definitely get an offhand variant. Offhand Gravite Rapier, offhand Gravite Longsword.
Yep.
No idea what they're going to do with bows. I mean, range is practically screwed no matter what. Unless they, for some reason, add Gravite crossbows and offhand Gravite crossbows, because then it's just done.
You think that normal crossbows should become free to play?
Yeah, that would take some consideration. Yes.
Yeah,
but
I think that it makes a lot of sense for them to be free to play.
Yeah, and it sort of follows along with like the arrows, right? We couldn't make them, but we could use them.
Correct.
And that would also make KBD, and Giant Mole viable with ranged, because right now, if you want to use ranged, you're looking at either a Phoenix crossbow or Rune javelins.
Or bronze crossbow.
Or bronze crossbow. So that's, yeah, so they need to do some reworks for that. As for offhand magics, we already have Mystic Wand and Mystic Orb, so that's doing fine. Anyways, yeah.
I'll interject one question here if you guys want. So do you guys think that the Mystic... So they have stated we would like to move the Mystic Trader to the Wizard's Tower. This would make it so that Mystic is available to be obtained through free-to-play means. Basically, Ironman would be able to get Mystic at that point. Do you guys think that that is one update that should happen, as well as them replacing or just simply adding blue D-hide to the current green dragon hide shops?
I think they should do both.
I said yes to all of the above, and maybe
Yeah, I agree.
even do something like make monsters. What are those monsters in the wilderness? Revenants.
What?
Yeah.
Yes,
make
Revenants are in the
them
Wizard.
drop mystic armor. Just
I s-
because there's no other way to get it in free to play, I think.
Yeah, there should be a way for Ironman to obtain highest possible.
Yeah. I made
armor.
a post on Reddit, and it got a lot of support. What I said was make free to play items obtainable in free to play, and it
Yeah.
was simply just do something so that, like, Carapace, right? That's a free to play item, but you can't actually get Carapace. Batwing, free to play item, you can't actually get it.
Yeah.
Blue D-hide, Mystic, etc. There's a lot of free to play items that you just simply can't actually get in free to play. So we'll see. Maybe with them doing this update, they'll look into other areas of free to play.
Hopefully. All right. One of our last few questions here. Have you ever met one of your RuneScape friends in real life, and would you ever?
I have not ever met anyone in real life. Realistically, I haven't actually made that many friends on RuneScape. Like, I haven't just been like, oh, hey, talking to someone and then actually adding them and continuing a conversation for a long period of time.
Yep.
So, I haven't. I wouldn't be opposed to it, if I became good enough friends with someone. So, we'll see.
EHP meetup coming soon.
Yeah.
The gaming house.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, I haven't, but I want to meet up with the boys of EHP.
Hey. Yeah, I haven't either, but I wouldn't meet up with anyone in EHP, most likely. But
Yeah.
specifically three certain people, because Canada A is not
A.
too far away. A. And
Oh, thanks.
but yeah, it would be really fun. And the gaming house is coming soon. If I ever hit the lottery, we'll get piss bottles for all, and a nice
Yeah.
gaming house.
Man,
sick.
no, you gotta hire a piss butler at that point.
Oh, well, actually, yeah, so that you didn't have to waste any ticks actually unzipping your pants. Or we could just get bedpans and just kind of, yeah, anyway. That's it. That's something to
Oh
talk
my
about
God.
off the record.
I have met someone that I made friends with in RuneScape. I think it's pretty. I don't know. I think RuneScape is a great way to meet friends, and most of my close friends I did meet on RuneScape just because I've been playing it for so long. And it's a lot easier than actually going outside and I don't know, striking a conversation with a random person and becoming friends.
That's XP waste.
Especially if you're not in school.
True.
But
Wait, okay, you don't have to say, but who have you met in real life? Silly Michael?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
couple
Oh,
times.
wait a minute. That's a girl. Whoa. We have made just uncovered some drama here, people.
Not
How
a big
old
deal.
is she?
What?
How old is she?
Alright, it's not gonna be a video about her.
Yeah,
Let's
you're
just
right.
move
you're
on.
right. Okay. Okay, someone's blushing, you can tell. Okay.
Next
Okay,
on
I
EHP
like it.
Drama News Association.
Drama alert.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I haven't. I've met like a few people that play, that I didn't like. I didn't know they played. I didn't meet them on RuneScape and then meet them in real life, but like the other way around. And would I? Heck yeah. I mean, like, I'd go chill with Derek and Zach up in Canada, and then
Eh?
California's not too far from me, so I could go see Desper. And New York's not that far either. I could go see Marco. So, Heck yeah, I'd definitely do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's close it up here, because this has been like almost, I don't know, something like 2 hours.
Oh damn.
So yeah, this is a lot of fun. Thanks for joining us, Hecate.
Yeah, no
Or
problem.
Hecate.
I definitely enjoyed being on here, and
Yeah.
if you ever want me to do it again,
Of
you know,
course.
be
Yeah,
happy
we'll let
to.
you know. And we'll link your stream also in the bottom,
Oh,
because
well,
he makes some cool videos and some cool streams.
thank you.
Also, thanks to the World 385 Friends chat, or I guess clan chat, for 07 free-to-play players for letting us use their TeamSpeak for this episode. So, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll see you later.
Hey.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.